final trailer for Toy Story 5 has finally been released, and it makes it clear that this movie is going to be incredibly emotional. But did you notice all the amazing details hidden throughout this trailer? Lilypad is one of the characters that has gotten the most attention ever since the new Toy Story was announced, since she's a tablet that's going to steal all of Bonnie's attention and make her stop caring about toys. For anyone still doubting that Lilypad will be the villain of the movie, the final trailer gives us signs that she's going to do everything possible to ruin the toys' lives. And we can notice this when we see that an online shopping site is open on her screen, with a picture of Jessie listed there. Lilypad is literally trying to sell Jessie without any shame at all. In other words, for her, it's not enough to have all of Bonnie's attention. The tablet needs Jessie to leave and never come back. What's even worse is that apparently, Lilypad is actually going to succeed in her plan to get rid of the toys, or at least most of them, because the trailer shows Jessie's friends being tossed into a box and taken away for donation. What exactly did the tablet do to make the toys get donated? Woody and Buzz are among the few who don't get taken away, which means the characters are eventually going to end up separated into different groups. And we'll already tell you this right now. Apparently, Jessie is going to end up in a place that will completely surprise you. And this is only the beginning of the 16 details and Easter eggs you missed in the final Toy Story 5 trailer. The moment has come. Let's enjoy another Cinewave together. At one point in the trailer, we see Jessie inside a completely different bedroom from Bonnie's room, and this is probably the place where she ended up after being donated. But the scene of her looking around the room is very interesting, because Jessie looks at the place as if she remembers it. It's very possible she has that expression because this is actually Emily's room, Jessie's original owner, who abandoned her after growing older. That would match the rumors saying Jessie is going to reunite with Emily, who is now an adult. And this scene isn't the only clue pointing to that. Later on, we see Jessie standing in a green field, but what really caught our attention is the tire swing hanging from a tree. Do you know why that stood out to us? Because we've seen this place before in Toy Story 2, during Jessie's flashback sequence. This was the place where she and Emily used to play together. The fact that an identical location appears in the Toy Story 5 trailer is definitive proof that Jessie is truly returning to Emily's house, which is fantastic. Could this make her almost give up on returning to Bonnie and defeating Lilypad? In fact, inside Emily's supposed bedroom, we briefly see two other toys. One of them is Atlas, a blue hippopotamus that works as a GPS, and the other is Smarty Pants, which helps very young children learn how to use the potty. Neither of them appeared in the scenes from Bonnie's house. Could this mean these toys belong to Emily? It's possible that Emily is already a mother, and that these toys actually belong to her daughter. It would even make sense for Emily to get Jessie back because of their friendship, but it wouldn't make much sense for her to also own a toy designed to teach kids how to use the bathroom. Something interesting to notice is that in these scenes where Jessie is inside Emily's supposed house, we don't see Bonnie's other toys anywhere. In other words, this could mean they were all taken to different places, especially because Jessie herself wasn't even inside the donation box where the others were placed. And this creates some incredible possibilities. Imagine if, for example, some of them ended up being donated to Andy, who was their owner during the first two Toy Story movies before growing up and giving them to Bonnie. That would be an amazing way to bring him back, now as an adult with a job. Since several years have already passed since the events of Toy Story, it's even possible that he's married by now. Meanwhile, another group of toys could be donated to Sunnyside Daycare, where the events of Toy Story 3 took place. Back then, the daycare was controlled by Lotso, the movie's villain, but the place ended up being run by Barbie and Ken after the bear was defeated. Would you also love to see Andy return in Toy Story 5? If so, comment down below with #Andy. Another piece of proof that Lilypad wants to get rid of the toys appears in the scene where she hacks into one of Bonnie's chats to send a message to her dad. The toys become completely desperate when she does this, which means Lilypad is probably about to send Bonnie's father some kind of message that could destroy the toys' reputation. Our theory? We think her plan is to send a video she recorded of the toys moving around, something many fans have believed could happen ever since Pixar released a poster for the movie showing Lilypad recording Woody, Buzz, and Jessie moving. Lilypad is capable of exposing the toys' biggest secret, and that's extremely dangerous. In the previous Toy Story 5 trailer, we saw a scene of Jessie, Woody, and Buzz riding horses while being followed by the Multi-Buzz army, made up of several defective Buzz Lightyears. Up until now, we didn't know exactly whether the Multi-Buzzes would be allies or villains. After all, the scene from the previous trailer could have shown them either riding alongside the main characters or chasing after them while the heroes tried to escape. However, this new scene makes it clear that the Multi-Buzzes are actually good guys. When Jessie yells for everyone to stop moving, they obey her too, too, making it obvious that the multi-buzzes are following her orders. Remember when LilyPad was trying to sell Jessie? You can actually see that the name of the website is eBid. That's the name of a sales website that already appeared earlier in the franchise, specifically in the short Toy Story of Terror, which completely removes any doubt that LilyPad is trying to get someone to buy the cowgirl and take her away from that house. Can you believe this tablet? And as if things couldn't get even worse, we actually get to see LilyPad successfully selling Jessie while the toys desperately try to stop her. It's easy to imagine that Jessie truly ended up getting sold after this, while many of the other toys were placed into a donation box. And that explains how the cowgirl ends up at Emily's house. Instead of Jessie ending up there by coincidence, it makes much more sense that Emily bought her online specifically because she wanted to find her old doll again, the one she regretted abandoning years ago. Or maybe Emily simply wanted to buy another doll of the same model, but ended up being lucky enough to recover the exact Jessie she used to play with as a child. Besides giving us valuable hints about what's going to happen, some scenes in the trailer are simply funny little Easter eggs that only the franchise's biggest fans will notice, like the moment Woody points ahead just to distract Buzz Lightyear. This is a reference to one of the funniest moments from the very first Toy Story. Back in the 1995 movie, Woody pointed ahead and yelled that he saw an alien. Since Buzz still believed he was a real space ranger at the time, he got startled and Woody laughed hysterically. It's really cool seeing how the two of them went from rivals to best friends over the years, right? At this point, it's easy to see that a lot of amazing things are going to happen in this movie, right? But what very few people expected was seeing Jessie riding a real horse. She's used to riding Bullseye, a toy horse, but seeing her on top of a real horse, one that's much bigger than she is simply incredible. And honestly, it looks like Jessie is going to find him at Emily's house, which you can tell just by looking at the setting where this scene takes place. Just imagine how funny it would be if she somehow managed to bring that horse all the way to Bonnie's house. Bonnie and her parents would be completely confused by a random horse suddenly appearing in their backyard out of nowhere with absolutely no explanation. The subscribe button is small, but it makes a big difference. Click it and hit the bell right now. Another thing the Toy Story 5 trailers make clear is that LilyPad has a very sarcastic and arrogant personality, which fits perfectly with the fact that she's a tablet connected to social media. In one part of the latest trailer, she calls Jessie Jessica. That reminds us that this is actually the cowgirl's real name, while Jessie is just her nickname. But judging by Jessie's reaction, she absolutely hates being called by her real name. It's no coincidence that one of the toys says LilyPad dropped the J word, and that's actually a pretty dark joke that many kids probably won't even understand. That's because using a single letter followed by word is usually something people say when referring to a very offensive or disrespectful term. For the name Jessica to be treated like the J word means Jessie truly hates being called that. Do you think that was the only time LilyPad insulted someone in this trailer? Think again, because she also had absolutely no respect for Woody, even going as far as calling him Stuffalo Bill. That nickname is a reference to Buffalo Bill, one of the most famous figures of the Wild West, which makes perfect sense since Woody is a Wild West cowboy. However, she didn't call him Buffalo, but Stuffalo, because Woody's stomach is looking a little stuffed out. In fact, he even looks down at his own belly after hearing the insult. Yeah, it really seems like LilyPad doesn't spare anyone, huh? At this point, the toys probably hate her more for how disrespectful she is than for stealing Bonnie's attention. Speaking of Bonnie, even though she's becoming addicted to LilyPad, the trailers make it pretty clear that the main reason she's abandoning her toys is simply because the other kids only care about electronic devices. When Bonnie gets LilyPad and spends time with the other children, you can easily tell by the look on her face that she would actually have more fun if everyone were playing together with toys instead. It's honestly pretty sad when you think about it, because Bonnie is giving up genuine fun just so she can fit in. It looks like one of the movie's recurring jokes will be that Woody is going bald. He doesn't even have real hair, but the brown coloring on his head, which represents his hair, is fading away, making him look bald. And the funniest part is that Trixie, the blue dinosaur, even jokes about it by saying Woody needs a brown paint marker, because technically he's not losing hair, he's losing the paint color on his head. Thanks for watching till the end. Now choose one of the two videos we left on the screen and keep having fun with us.